Imagine this. What would happen if you were trapped inside a massive swimming pool with a cover, not just for a few hours, but continuously for several days? From the outside, there is no way to tell that someone is inside. There is no phone in hand, no people nearby who could hear your screams. Slowly, the water in the pool begins to turn ice cold. Your body starts to freeze, and with it, your ability to survive gradually fades away. In such a situation, what would you do to stay alive? Or would you even have any chance at all? A horrifying and suffocating incident exactly like this happened to two sisters. It was an automatic, covered swimming pool. By a cruel coincidence, they became trapped beneath it. From the outside, there was absolutely no way to understand that two people were fighting for their lives inside. Bithi was a professional swimmer. Her wedding was approaching. Despite being a diabetic patient, she regularly came to practice swimming. That day, her sister Joya came to meet her. Joya had recently been released from a rehabilitation center after a long time. She carried a slight resentment in her heart regarding her sister's wedding. It was the last day of the week. Moreover, because of the long Christmas holiday ahead, the pool would remain closed for 3 continuous days after that day. While talking, the two sisters got into the pool to swim. After some time, the pool manager requested everyone to get out, as it was time to close the pool. At that very moment, Bithi noticed that her engagement ring was missing from her finger. After searching for a long time, they realized that the ring had fallen to the very bottom of the pool. Leaving it behind was simply not an option. Determined to retrieve it one last time, both sisters dove into the water again, and at that exact moment, a fatal mistake occurred. The manager looked around, saw no one, and assumed that everyone had already left. He pressed the switch of the automatic pool cover. The heavy fiberglass cover slowly began to descend, gradually sealing the pool completely. Busy searching for the ring underwater, neither Bithi nor Joya noticed what was happening above. The danger escalated even further when the ring became firmly stuck inside the pool's water filter grill. After a great struggle, they finally managed to free the ring and swam upward. But by then, it was already too late. The pool had been completely covered. In an instant, an ordinary situation turned into a horrifying nightmare. The two sisters realized they were trapped. They desperately keep pushing against the cover with all their strength, but the heavy fiberglass lid doesn't move even an inch. Their weak screams have absolutely no chance of passing through the thick cover to reach outside. On top of that, the pool is closed for a long 3-day holiday. No one will come to help them during this time. And so, in this terror and ice-cold water, the sisters' fight for survival begins. Trapped beneath the cover in darkness and freezing water, Joya almost breaks down in panic. With a trembling voice, she cries out, "The pool is closed for 3 days. We're going to die here from the cold." But Bithi is not someone who gives up easily. She tries to calm her sister and says, "If we want to survive, we have to keep our minds calm. Save your strength." The two sisters carefully examine the cover together. After some time, they discover several small holes. These holes were designed for air circulation. They allow them to breathe, but they are far too small to call for help or escape. Desperate, they search the bottom of the pool for something sharp so they can widen the holes. But no matter how much they search, they find nothing. As time passes, their hopelessness grows. At that moment, Joya says in a broken, hopeless voice, "Now I understand how painful it feels to be completely alone. After you get married, I'll be alone just like this, and I'll suffer in the same way." When the topic of marriage comes up, a sudden spark of hope appears in Bithi's mind. She remembers that she was supposed to meet her fiancé, David, that night. Bithi says, "David will definitely come here if he can't find me. Once he comes, we'll be saved." But that last hope shatters very quickly. A few moments later, David calls, but Bithi's phone is locked away in a locker outside the pool. The phone keeps ringing there. From inside the pool, they can sense the vibration and faint sound of the phone, and they even realize that it's probably David calling, but they have no way to reach the phone. After the ringing stops and no more calls come, they feel completely crushed. Just then, a message notification sound is heard. David has sent a message saying that he has to leave the city for urgent office work and that it will take almost 2 days for him to return, so he cancels their dinner plans. Their only hope was that David would come looking for Bithi for the dinner, and by that chance, they might be rescued. But that final possibility is gone as well. David will not look for Bithi at all for the next 2 days because of his work. Thinking about all this, Bithi becomes even more desperate to survive. She starts trying to remove the heavy iron filter grate at the bottom of the pool. Bithi's plan was to use a metal rod inside the pool like a hammer and strike the cover. But no matter how much strength she used, she couldn't break it open. As time passed, 12 hours went by. All night long, the two sisters shivered in the freezing water as their strength slowly slowly drained away. There was nothing around them except darkness, cold, and suffocating silence. By the next morning, the situation became even more horrifying. Because of staying in the icy water for such a long time, Bithi, who was diabetic, began to lose control of her body. Her blood sugar level dropped dangerously low, and she was on the verge of losing consciousness. They had no relatives who might come looking for them. Gradually, they gave up all hope and accepted that they were about to die there. Just then, they heard the sound of someone walking outside. It was Clara, a female employee of the pool who had come in the morning to do the cleaning. Hearing the sisters' faint cries from inside, Clara walked over to the pool cover. To her shock, she realized that two people were trapped underneath. For a brief moment, it seemed like they were saved, but instead of helping them, a terrifying thought crossed Clara's mind. She noticed Beatty's expensive phone and her bag full of money. Greed crushed her sense of humanity in an instant. Clara turned off all the CCTV cameras around the pool. Then she came close to a small opening in the cover and demanded the password to Beatty's phone. Terrified, the sisters gave her the password. After going through the phone, Clara confirmed that they were financially well off. That was when she revealed her true nature. Clara said, "What if I send a message right now to your boyfriend, David, saying that you are extremely angry with him and that you are thinking about ending your life? Then I'll switch off the phone and quietly leave this place." Beatty and Joya realized they had fallen into the hands of a new devil. Clara continued coldly, "If you want me not to do that and to save your lives, then give me all the information of your credit cards." Joya refused. She was afraid that the woman would take the money and still run away without rescuing them. When Clara saw that Joya would not give the card PIN, she committed a cruel act. She suddenly turned off the heaters that kept the pool water warm. As soon as the heaters were shut down, the water began to grow ice cold at a terrifying speed. For Bithi, who was diabetic, this extreme cold meant certain death. In order to save her sister's life, Joya finally gives in. She gives Clara her credit card number. Clara reassures them and says, "Don't worry, I'll just withdraw the money and come right back." Saying this, she leaves. 1 hour passes, then 2 hours, but Clara does not return. Meanwhile, the pool water has become unbearably cold. Bithi is slowly losing consciousness. Seeing her sister in this condition, Joya's heart completely shatters. As a last attempt, she dives back into the water to try opening the filter grill. After some time, Clara returns, but this time her attitude is completely different. She says there isn't enough money in the account and that she wants more. Seeing Clara's shameless greed, Joya completely loses control. Using a piece of fiberglass lying nearby, she strikes Clara hard in the ear through a small opening in the pool cover. Clara screams in pain. Enraged, she commits a horrifying act. She turns on the pool's filtration system. Instantly, chlorine begins mixing into the water. Because of the highly alkaline chlorine, the sisters' bodies start burning painfully. Bethy's condition becomes critical. She is on the verge of death. With no other choice, Joya begs Clara for mercy. Crying uncontrollably, she falls at Clara's feet and pleads for forgiveness. Finally, Clara turns off the chlorine, but now her demands grow even worse. She wants Bethy's diamond engagement ring and several more lakhs of money. The very ring they tried to save and ended up trapped because of it. Joya is forced to remove that engagement ring and hand it over to Clara. She also gives the details of another bank account. Clara leaves once again to withdraw the money. During this time, the final hidden truth between the two sisters comes out. Joya breaks down in tears and confesses, "I didn't want your marriage to happen. Out of anger, I was the one who threw your ring into the pool. Because of my mistake, we are in this situation now." Even though Bethy is deeply hurt by this confession, she embraces her sister and forgives her. Meanwhile, after withdrawing the money, Clara returns, cheerfully planning to free them. At that exact moment, a message arrives on Bethy's phone from David. "I can't reach you anywhere, so I've informed the police." Reading this message, Clara's face turns pale. If the police arrive, her imprisonment for blackmail is certain. Trembling with fear, she rushes to them and says, "I'm sorry, I can't save you anymore. David has reported to the police because he couldn't find you. If you're freed, I'll be caught." But the two sisters want to survive at any cost. They beg Clara, "Please save us. We want to live. We promise we won't tell anyone about you." Now desperate to save her own life as well, Clara rushes toward the control panel to open the pool cover, and this is where the most tragic twist of the story occurs. Because of the long holiday, the pool manager had locked the system with a new password. The old password Clara has no longer works. No matter how hard she tries, every attempt fails. The cover cannot be opened. She cannot even call the police, because doing so would expose her own crimes. In the end, Clara made the cruelest decision to save her own life. She slowly looked at them and said, "I'm sorry. Actually, death was always written written in your fate." With that, Clara silently walked away. As the sound of her footsteps faded, the two sisters realized with chilling clarity their last hope was gone forever. Trapped beneath the heavy pool cover, chlorinated, freezing cold water, darkness so thick it felt like a grave. In that silent, suffocating place, they clung to each other, waiting for the inevitable end. After Clara left, Bithy's body completely gave in. She could no longer stay afloat, barely keeping her sister above water. Joya watched in horror as her sister slowly collapsed into the arms of death. Just before dying, Bithy, overwhelmed with emotion, turned to Joya and whispered, "You know, when the fire broke out at our house when we were kids, I held you in my arms just like this. I burned my entire hand trying to save you, but I never let the fire touch you." Hearing this, a jolt ran through Joya like electricity. She realized how selflessly her sister loved her. This act of sacrifice ignited an incredible strength within her. She made a silent vow. She would not let her sister die. When all doors of help seemed closed, sometimes you have to be your own savior. Desperate, Joya tried again to open the metal filter grill. Suddenly, an idea struck her. She took a ribbon from Bithy's hair, tied it around the grill, and pulled with all her strength. After tremendous effort, a section of the metal grill finally broke off and came into her hands. In that moment, a renewed hope of survival surged within Joya, but Bithy was still sinking beneath the water. Joya quickly pulled her up, struggling to restore her breathing. Then, using the sharp piece of metal in her hand, she began striking the pool cover, trying to create an opening. Eventually, a crack appeared in the cover. Joya's hand was cut and bleeding, but she did not stop. Ignoring the pain, she managed to create a large enough hole. Then, she dragged her nearly unconscious sister through it to the outside world. Finally, they escaped the deadly trap. Was all danger over? As they emerged, they saw Clara had not left. She stood there with a gun in her hand. In a cold, calm voice, Clara said, "Since you came out without my help, it means you are not grateful to me. For this, you won't hesitate to file a complaint against me with the police. So, sorry. You both will have to kill me first." Clara held the gun, slowly aiming at the two sisters. At that moment, Jaya shields her weaker sister, Bithy, and steps forward, chest out, standing firmly in front of Clara. In a strong voice, she says, "After fighting so hard to survive, if we have to die now, then let's die. But don't shoot my sister first. Shoot me." There's no fear in Jaya's eyes, only determination and love. She continues, "When I was a child, my sister risked her life to save me from being burned alive. If someone has to die today, it should be me." Seeing this selfless love between the two sisters, Clara's hands begin to shake. For the first time in her life, she feels something beyond greed for money, something human. Slowly, Clara lowers the gun. Realizing her mistake, she pushes the diamond ring toward them. Then, using her phone, she calls the police. Within minutes, the police arrive. The two sisters are finally completely safe. Before heading to the hospital, Jaya laughs as she places the ring back on Bithy's finger. Then she playfully says, "I'll be dressing up a lot for your wedding. I'm so excited. Hurry up and get married." And just like that, a terrifying nightmare comes to an end. Through this ordeal, the bond of love between the two sisters grows even stronger. And so ends this suspenseful, heart-pounding, and deeply emotional story. To move forward, I really need your support. If you enjoyed my videos, please subscribe to my channel to get videos like this every day. Stay well, take care.